In recent years, we have seen a real surge in popularity in campervan ownership and the desire to get out there and embrace van life. We've seen the younger generations get really inspired by the whole van life craze, but caravan design has typically been a little bit lagging behind. Eriba have the answer with this ultimate hybrid of caravan design and campervan design. So welcome to Not Another White Box, the channel that brings you all that's cool, quirky and unusual in the caravan world. My name is Cameron and today we're going to be taking a detailed look at the Eriba Touring 620. The bonkersness of the Eriba design starts right at the front, but at the heart of it all is really good practical design. They actually use a Knot chassis, which is just an alternative to the Outtro chassis. But unlike Outtro, which is now American owned, Knot is still based in Germany. So it looks a little bit unconventional, but it works the same way as an Outtro hitch, and you've got all the standard buttonless handbrake and everything that's gas assisted, which again is the industry standard. Something I absolutely love is the checker plate A-frame cover. It's so durable. So many caravans that I deal with, particularly the older ones that you'll see on this channel, have so much damage to the fiberglass or ABS plastic A-frame covers over time as the sun just deteriorates the plastic. And it's so easy to catch the fairing when you're lifting up the jockey wheel or you're loading things in and out the front locker. So this design, I know it looks really rugged, but it is really rugged, and that's the benefit of it. They also sell a cycle mount kit, so you can actually have a full front cycle carrier mounted up here, and everything about it, which is the theme of this caravan, is really substantial. This funky looking locker at the front here lifts all the way up to allow easy access to the gas bottles at the front. And again, unlike a lot of caravans that you'll see, particularly British ones that have just a wooden base in this area that typically gets wet sometimes, Eriba have carried on with the checker plate, metal in there just to make it more durable. And just the quality of everything. All the lockers and everything are of Eriba's own design. So we've not got the flimsy plastic lockers that we see on so many caravans on the market. They're all beautifully aluminium edged with really decent locks on them as well. And you know, it's just the typical Eriba eye for detail that just impresses from front to back. So actually for the front, this caravan looks absolutely bonkers. Seeing that pop top up there is just so unusual and it's just incredible. I really like this design. It's very striking, and I imagine if you're parked next to this on site, you'd be getting a lot of attention. One of the things that I really love about the Eriba design, and this applies to all models, is this nod to their retro heritage. Obviously Eriba first came into business in the 1950s and they really hit their stride by the 1970s, but actually this basic shape of the caravan was decided on pretty early on, and owners across the world love that heritage link, and Eriba really embraced that with all these chrome details and the round lights. Look at the round lights, I absolutely love these. The chrome bumper at the back, the way that the reflectors sit up on top of it, it just looks so cool, even right down to the American car style badging that's straight out of the 1950s. It just looks fabulous. And the other thing, of course, which I have to mention, is the colour. This particular one is called Tango Red, and they offer, I think, 5 different exterior colour schemes for these, meaning that you can pick something that just gives a pop of colour. And as we're about to see with the interior, that Tango Red colour scheme does carry through inside. So I know you're dying to see inside, because I promise you it's like nothing else you've ever seen. Let's go explore the interior. At the back end of the 620, we have this enormous lounge space. These actually serve as 2 single beds as well. And this is a trick that you'll see across many Eriba models, is they actually design them primarily for sleeping on rather than sitting and lounging, which does actually make them very comfortable. So this here can be configured as 2 single beds by design. It will actually also make a double if you wish. And as I mentioned outside, that Tango Red colour scheme has come into the interior. You know, I don't think I would pick it, even though red is one of my favourite colours, just because some of the other colours that Eriba offer are just so lovely. But I actually do really like this. It's really good quality. Even the piping kind of has this felt, I don't know what you describe it as actually. It feels very elevated compared to a lot of offerings on the market, particularly in terms of its comfort. But Eriba don't just stop with the details with the exterior. We've got loads of things inside, and one of my favorite features is these removable spotlights. I think it'll go off when I take it off. Yeah, it will. Because we're at the show, they've obviously had to tie them in because people will wander off with them. But it's a little spotlight that actually, have they disabled it? Nope. It does stand up, so you can have it as a little lamp on the table. And then when you're done with it, you can pop it back up there and it will recharge. And it pivots on this magnetic ball, so you can adjust it for reading. And it's such a cool feature. I mean, I bet it cost Eriba loads of money to design these, and it's definitely something that I think has come over from the motorhome side of the business, but completely unique in a caravan. I've never seen anything like it before. And of course you could take it outside and use it in the awning, and it's just cool and funky. I just love it. Moving into the middle of the 620, we've got this little sideboard unit here that has absolutely tons of storage in it. And again, everything in here is so well made. It's beautiful, from the soft shut cupboards to the way the upper cupboards are made with their concealed catches, and they're even lined with bits of felt just to make them that little bit more opulent, but also durable, I guess. So the 620, as it stands, it gets a bit complicated explaining what spec an Eriba comes with, because Owenheimer in Germany will send a certain quota of vans over to the UK with a very standard UK spec, which includes the blown air heating, the full oven and cooker, the large fridge. Obviously it's converted for UK electrics as well, and you get the 12-volt system included in that, which isn't part of the standard spec in Germany. But there is another way to buy an Eriba, and that's through an Eriba specialist. And I'm told there's only 2 in the country that allow you to completely build your own. And one of them is a particular friend of mine, Claire, who runs Cool Classics based in Southampton. And they are one of the few dealers in the country that will allow you to completely build your own spec of Eriba. And I know these vans are expensive, but seeing so many of the second-hand ones still on the market, they're always in demand, they retain their value exceptionally well, and they're always just kind of evergreen because the design is so timeless. People keep them for years and years and years, and unlike pretty much every other caravan made in this country, it will last years and years and years because it's a stunning design from the ground up, from the galvanized chassis that's unique to Eriba, to the construction, to the framework within the walls, just to the way it's put together. They are so built to last. And that is the theme of every little thing that you touch in here. It feels really substantial. So yep, it's a big investment. For sure, but it's very good value for money in terms of the quality that you get. And like I said, if you're a discerning caravaner who wants an Eriba exactly how you want it, speak to someone like Cool Classics who can build up the spec for you from scratch. And that is a really fantastic way of getting a really unique caravan that will completely suit your needs. Sorry to broadcast this portion of the video from sat on the throne, but it's quite a small space to try and show. Yeah, believe it or not, in the Eriba there is a washroom, and it has a bench toilet, it has a sink, and actually there is the option to have a shower as well. There is actually a shower tray in here. A kind of a unique design feature of the 620 with the elevated roof is that it doesn't have the canvas that bridges the gap from the top of the washroom to the ceiling like other Eriba models have. So the result is a rather unique design detail whereby you can be in the washroom and still holding a conversation with whoever's sat at the breakfast table. And finally, at the front end of the caravan, believe it or not, we have this amazing kitchen. I mean, the design of this is fabulous. As soon as you walk through the door, you've got this dedicated coat rack area with coat storage, shoe storage, and somewhere to put an umbrella. It's absolutely incredible. One of my absolute pet hates in a caravan is tripping over shoes and things in the doorway, because if you're like me, you take a lot of shoes on holiday with you. So the fact that Eriba has this little cloakroom, I guess we could call it, in the entranceway is just a really practical design, which I've never seen on another Caravan. Some of the European stuff is starting to have things like this, but I think Eriba were setting the trend there. Being the British spec, this model has the full oven and separate grill and a 3-burner hob up here, which is a Thetford unit. Of course, we Brits can't go anywhere without having the ability to cook a full 3-course meal and a Sunday roast. I don't know who's doing that in an Eriba, but here we are. Personally, I could probably do without that, because if you see the German version of this, it just has the cooker set back here. You do get a load of extra worktop space, plus an extra cupboard down there for not having the oven. And there's loads of space in here. I mean, this kitchen is huge. You could quite easily have an air fryer, a coffee machine or something parked at one end of it, and you still have loads of space to work. Because I think cooking in the Caravan is something that we love to do, and we use ours. And so many Caravans just have tiny little kitchens that tick boxes, that they've got a sink and a cooker and a fridge, but they're not a practical design, they're not usable. Whereas this, with all the worktop space, all the open shelving at the top, it's just easy. I guess we're quite unusual because we have a vintage Caravan that has a lot of open shelving like this. You don't see this in modern Caravan design, but when you've gone out to the shop and you've got all your snacks and your fruit and veg and everything, having somewhere that's easily accessible without it being stashed in a cupboard and forgotten about is actually a really great design feature. But of course, being a family van, it has a family size fridge. We've got this tall Dometic unit, which has the door, which does swing both ways. No jokes, please. I absolutely love the tall fridge, and it's amazing to see that in an Eriba, although it's not unique to this model. There are other models in the range that have that. And again, this particular one has been fitted out with the Truma Combi heating system, which also does hot water as well. So you might be mistaken for thinking that an Eriba is quite a basic Caravan, because in their formative years they certainly were, and as late as the early 2000s they were still sold with cold running water only. But actually the new models are much more elevated than that. The spec is nigh on identical to that you would find in a British van, in that you can run them off grid. They've got the normal heating system that we're familiar with in this country, and you've even got an oven, for goodness sake. Look what you've done to the Germans. You've made them fit an oven and cooker in their beautiful German design. But you know, whatever it takes to sell it, I guess. And I think we should probably finish with the feature that I know you're dying to see, which is the bed in the roof. So I'm going to go find the ladder and we'll take you upstairs in the Caravan. So when you're ready for bed, the ladder installs here at the front of the kitchen, and the bed just pulls down with one arm, and it's as easy as that. But once this is down, there isn't a lot of headroom in this area, but obviously you'd only be pulling it down when you're sleeping. And then when you're done in the morning, you just push it and up it goes. It's on 4 gas struts, so it's actually really easy. And when this design is up and folded away, you actually get a lot more headroom in here than you get in a normal Eriba. You get more headroom in here than you get in a normal Caravan. So it does actually work as a design. So if I just pull it down with one arm, let's take you upstairs. I can't tell you how surreal it feels to be upstairs with this bird's eye view in a Caravan. I find it strange enough in a Campervan being upstairs, but in a Caravan it just seems even weirder. So up here we've got this massive king-size bed. It's the full size of the roof of the Caravan pretty much. Loads of room for 2 people up here. There's actually a decent amount of headroom as well, which is quite nice, and even a bunk guard. So if your pillows are up at this end and you're worried about them falling off downstairs, they've even thought of that with the bed guard. And something that I can't show you on camera because they're downstairs, but the adaptable lamps that we showed you in the lounge have mounting points in the ceiling up here, so you can take that lamp with you to bed like Florence Nightingale and mount it on the ceiling, and you've got lights up here. It really does seem like they've thought of everything, and I just think this is so cool. And I will spin the camera around for you, but sat up here with the fly mesh unzipped with the bird's eye view of the campsite is just such a unique experience. And if you can't tell, I absolutely love this design. I think it's fantastic. So if you can't tell, I absolutely love this caravan. Is it Not Another White Box approved? It's one of the easiest Not Another White Box approvals I think I've ever given. It's so bonkers, I love it. But the more you look at it, the more practical it is, and the little details are just amazing. But overall, the build quality, I just have to applaud it, because in an era where things are getting cheaper, it's nice to see a manufacturer who are still maintaining such a high standard of finish throughout. So if you want to know more about the 620, I'll pop some links in the description below. Give this video a like if you've enjoyed it, and please do subscribe to the channel. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you again soon.